Yeah, so you
We'll just place it so you can get in the middle.
Ready? Like I said, I'm looking for. Can you really see with that at that angle? If you get like
Yeah, so-
if you get parallel to the board, you can really.
So why don't you stand in the middle, I'll hit the right side, and that way you can see.
Can you see this now?
Do I need to see you?
No, just my hand.
Okay,
Ready?
I'm ready. Wait.
Right, so the Division G4, let me back up. These are the ADC notes, guidance to the Division G4. The Division G4 is responsible for consolidating division requirements to tell the sustainment brigade who's going to get what support, how much, what priority, and what routes to use, and then coordinate that through the G3. The sustainment brigade takes that information and then figures out where to place SSAs for storage and figures out how much capacity they have for trucks in order to locate the trucks and the SSAs in order to support this requirements. Collectively, combined, those become the concept of support. So the G4 receives the consolidated requirements from brigades, who coordinate that with their SPOs for internal execution. SPOs talk to the sustainment brigade SPO for detailed coordination and delivery. The G4 forwards the requirements to the core G4 info copies to the ESC and the sustainment brigade so that we can collectively figure all this stuff out. Moving to battlefield geometry, we have three major regions to consider. One of them is the wet gap crossing around the ARACs, which starts about 20 kilometers short of the river and goes about 30 kilometers past the river in order to ensure that we have cleared this of DS artillery. Once we get 30 kilometers past the river, DS artillery from the enemy can't range the river crossings, and this becomes a management problem of flowing units and trucks and resupplies in both directions over the crossing points. The White Gap crossing starts 20 kilometers short because enemy DS artillery defending the river can range this far, and so this becomes a tactical fight for division Wet Gap crossing. The Wet Gap crossing plus all the terrain between log bases and attack positions at Yevlok all the way up to the Wet Gap crossing and the Wet Gap crossing is really the division's consolidation area. You could expect to have Corps Artillery and Aviation located somewhere in this area so they can range forward. Division Artillery and Aviation, a large division support area with probably two CSSB LSAs that are providing support up to and including the Wet Gap crossing. You'll certainly have the MEB and probably the SBCT involved in the consolidation zone, an engineer group plus the passing of at least 4 combat brigades through the Wet Gap crossing so they can get up into the main battle area to seize objective Bravo. The division commander has 3 questions of the sustainers. First, can we sustain the combat brigades as we begin the attack on Bravo? He can't begin the attack on Bravo until the answer to that question is yes. So the essential moment for the sustainment rehearsal and consolidation rehearsals are when the division is postured to make the assault on Bravo, what are the locations of the combat brigades and their BSAs? Then what are the locations of the units in the consolidation area, their BSAs, and then CSSB LSAs for retail distribution? So his first question is, can we sustain the combat brigades as they're going into Bravo? In order to prove that, we have to know what their requirement is, which is rolled up by the G4 in the division requirements, and the time distance factors of getting from the Wet Gap crossing through MSRs up into BSAs. We need to know what that transit time is so we can determine if we can sustain that push 24 or 48 hours. That is going to drive a decision on whether or not we move LSAs from Yevlok or the DSA up into the consolidation area Wet Gap crossing in order to reduce that transit time. If we have to move that, then we can use contracted support and slack support to be able to move stockages at class 3 and 5 in water from Yevlok and Ganja up into LSAs in the consolidation area. That's why this has to be cleared of DS artillery in order to establish those CSSB LSAs. We essentially would have to move major portions of the DSA up into this area in order to make the time distance factors work and to be postured for follow-on missions after taking down Bravo. So that's the first question. Can we sustain combat power of the brigades in Bravo, and that's a function of time distance on this site. Second, can we sustain units in the consolidation area while we are attacking Bravo? If we can't, then the consolidation area falls apart, and then sustainment to the lead brigades fails. So we have to show that we can sustain all the units operating in the consolidation area. That's a sustainment function. And then third, can we protect units in the consolidation area? And that enables the sustainment function to perform. So those are the three questions. Can we support the combat brigades? Can we sustain units in the consolidation area? And then can we protect units in the consolidation area? The answers to these next set of questions are crucial to being able to answer these. First, what are the control measures that we need to coordinate to ensure that we have proper mission command between the consolidation area and the MBA? What are those criteria? Is that behind the lead brigades, behind all the brigades? What's that control measure need to be? Second, do the LSAs need to move from Yevlok up to vicinity of the wet gap in order to make the sustainment to those brigades work? Number three, what's the mission command of the consolidation area, given that we have a lot of non-divisional units, sustainment brigade, corps artillery, and aviation, plus a lot of moving pieces throughout this area? What's the mission command for the consolidation area that can integrate all of the warfighting functions? So that's a division mission command challenge. Number four, where are all the tenant units? Who are they, and how are we going to manage all of this terrain and ensure that with these limited locks that we are accounting for the size of units in SSAs? You get too consolidated, and you're going to be a rocket box, and so we have to maintain dispersion. And can we manage that terrain so that everybody can perform their functions in the consolidation area and in support of the main battle area? Number five, what are the sustainment requirements in the BSA locations of the combat brigades so that we can make sure that we have managed that portion of the sustainment mission? And then number six, what's our posture going to be after seizing objective Bravo, which means what are our follow-on missions? Depending on what our follow-on missions are, if we're moving from Bravo to Charlie, then can we support to Charlie from LSAs that are up in here, which informs a decision about how and when we move from Yevlok up into this area. I assume we're going to have to go to restore the international border, and so at a minimum, we have to get sustainment areas on the far side of this river to reduce the congestion and be able to support to Baku, to Bravo, to Charlie, or repositioning of the division's brigades. That concludes this briefing. Check.